It's Monday morning in Ford County.
That full-size Chevy pickup sure has a more advanced design than Ford.
Now that you mention it, the lines do remind me of modern neoclassic sculpture.
I see a lot of Bauhaus influence.
The understated simplicity even contributes to greater fuel efficiency.
High fuel efficiency. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks.
Go for a drive, huh?
It's a beautiful day. Not.
Not. Hey,
Right.
At least it's not snowing. I've always had a love of cars and things mechanical. When I was a little kid, my dad used to own race cars and we'd go to the racetrack. And I knew I wanted to be involved in the auto business. I was lucky enough to get an internship at Car and Driver magazine where I started writing about cars. After 4 years of college and working at Car and Driver, I got a job in advertising as a copywriter in Detroit, working on the Pontiac and Cadillac accounts. I was in Detroit for about 8 years, moving from agency to agency as one does when they're early in their career. Worked on Ford and then Chevrolet. I was sitting in my office late one night and I got a phone call saying, would you be interested in moving to Madison, Wisconsin and being a creative director in an agency there?
So we're here to talk about Harvey.
Harvey who? He had been named by Adweek as the best TV copywriter in the Midwest, and we'd seen that in him, and we were looking for a creative director, so we told the recruiter, let's try and bring this guy in.
We'd interviewed many others, and they were all a disappointment because we had already built a little bit of a national reputation for our creativity. So we were looking for something even bigger. And boy, we'd gone through a lot of candidates. And Harvey walked in the door, and about 20 minutes into the interview, it was going very well. But he asked to be excused to go to the restroom, and Rick and I looked at each other, and we said,
This is our guy.
right away we knew.
So we knew that this ringer got pulled out of Detroit who was Adweek's like TV copywriter of the year. And we all saw that Ford County stuff on TV during Packer games. And it was like, holy crap, that guy, the guy who did Ford County, is now gonna be in Madison. So everybody saw you before they met you, and everybody eventually met you, but what everybody saw was this great big dude with super long hair.
We could talk about Harvey's hair.
Oh, let's talk about Harvey's hair.
But you just knew right away, yeah, Harvey knows how to play guitar. You can tell by the hair right away. You can do the opening of Hotel California like in his sleep, you know.
We met through advertising. We found out we had a shared love of music and performing, as did some other folks. That led to Johnny and the Nacomans, the Dudes in Suits at the Mad Cabaret.
It was a who's who of Madison except for us.
That's true.
One of the important things for me about my story was just coming to Madison and really finding myself. When I was in Detroit, I think I was trying really hard to be something. And when I got to Madison and working with Rick and Marcia and being a partner of the agency, it allowed me to be a much more complete person than just an ad guy.
He has always embraced doing good for others, public service. I remember 20 years ago when it was not known whether we could pass the referendum locally for the Monona Convention Center. He led the creative that helped push the referendum over into the winning nature that it was, and we all benefit from it being downtown. It caused a renaissance for downtown. He led the creative process. He recruited great people. He mentored them. You see many of them still working in the community today. Andy Wellman, John Bessemer, so many. He mentored us in his own way, too, because he had a different experience with creativity at big agencies.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
In the mattress one, we were in pajamas.
That's right, we pitched an account in pajamas.
Fun!
He took us to new levels in terms of attracting larger and more national clients. I mean, we got to pitch national beers. We did work for Miller and S.C. Johnson. It was a wonderful time.
you build this legacy and you do a lot of work. And you know, the economic downturn of the late 2000s hit, and I decided that in order to allow the business to focus on advertising, it probably made sense for me to step away from the business. So Marcia and Rick and I all sat down and agreed, and then I went out on my own to freelance, both in marketing and innovation work, but then start to get back to my first love, which was more long-form writing, specifically automotive reviews. I got asked by my former boss at Car and Driver to write a few things for his new publication, which was called Winding Road, and I did that, and I kind of got hooked on it again. And that's just kind of where it all began again, for lack of a better term.
I cannot think of someone who is more deserving of the ADFED Silver Medal Award than you are, Harvey.
Thank you for being our wonderful, loyal, generous friend for 30 years, for adding untold blessings to our life, not just you, but bringing us into the world of your family, your lovely wife and your 2 kids.
You gave a lot of people an opportunity, you gave a lot of people freedom, and if you look at all the cool stuff people did after you, you gotta feel really, really proud of the mark you laid on the world, dude.
Thank you. We're behind the wheel of the 2020 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro 4-wheel drive, and this vehicle has everything you could want to go off-roading.